The Eastland Tragedy with Ron Majors.
It was supposed to be a carefree cruise and company picnic for thousands at Western Electric. The crowd descended on downtown Chicago July 24th, 1915.
It was going to be a big affair, you know. We were going to picnic in Michigan City, and it was a boat ride, and it was exciting.
Early that morning, right here on the Chicago River near the Clark Street Bridge, thousands of people began to board the Eastland, but something went wrong. The ship began to roll over, and the people began to panic.
I heard somebody say, "Look out, she's tipping."
She lifted over one side, and the other side, and the other side, and so forth, and down she went.
The Eastland came to rest on her side in the muddy riverbed, trapping hundreds below decks. Even though Ken Rabe was just 4 years old, the memories are still vivid.
We could see people in the lounges. There's windows on lounges, and see those people grasping up, trying to grasp something and so forth, hold on to. And here, of course, the lounges were all filled with water, so they were trapped.
As a 4-year-old, did you have any sense at that moment that people were dying around you?
Very definitely. We had no other experience that those people they're not going to survive.
Ken and his sister Grace have their parents to thank for their lives. Sensing the lower lounges were too crowded, Mr. and Mrs. Rabe brought their children to the deck, onto the only part of the boat that would be left above water.
We happened to be on the right side, and so help me, I have no idea why we ever got there, but that was the decision. It's sort of a miracle.
Another who scrambled to safety on that starboard side, Libby Ruby.
We stood up and we saw the commotion, the people trying to get up over the railing and on the side of the boat.
Marie Rabaka and her family were not so fortunate. They were among the sea of passengers fighting for their lives in the waters of the Chicago River. As a 3-year-old who could not swim, her father was her salvation.
People were layered one on top of another, that I remember. And I was just hanging on to my father's neck for dear life. He didn't even realize that I was hanging on to him. He was trying to find my mother.
A horrifying moment during that desperate search is forever ingrained in her mind when a drowning man also turned to her father.
He came up and he pulled on my father's leg and wanted to get up higher. And my father, he couldn't find me and he couldn't find my mother. So he told him to go ahead and motioned to him to go ahead. And when the man saw that he had a kid hanging on his leg, he shook his head and he went back under.
It's just one of many painful memories of that day. Marie lost both her mother and baby sister in the disaster. In all, more than 800 people lost their lives. So many, an armory had to be turned into a makeshift morgue. 22 entire families were wiped out. The cause of the disaster still is not known for sure. Courts blamed an engineer for not filling the ballasts properly. But many say the added weight of lifeboats brought the Eastland's demise. Ironically, lifeboats that were required in the wake of the Titanic disaster. There is no dispute, though, about the Eastland's place in Chicago history.
It should be remembered because it's, I think, the worst tragedy Chicago ever had.
The Eastland was refloated but never used again as a passenger boat. It was refitted and used as a naval training vessel until 1947.
The Eastland Tragedy has been brought to you in part by the Chicago Historical Society.